GM. Happy Monday to the community. I'm hoping everybody had a phenomenal weekend. I surely did have a good weekend, a good break from ENS and Twitter. Wasn't really on too much, but when I did get on, I did catch some really prolific news, some really great news, and I'll start off with that. And I think that was pretty interesting. I'll give some of my hot takes on this. With number one being, I think the biggest news is Tiffany. That I pinned this to the top right. Tiffany is nearly a 200-year-old brand entering the NFT space. That is pretty amazing. Now everybody has different opinions and thought processes on how they entered it, what they're actually selling, with how they're actually going about it. But I think for a brand this old and this prominent to be entering the space and to be giving it a try, right? I think it's definitely in moving the whole space in the right direction. It shows that people are noticing it and people are just trying to approach it through various different perspectives and points of views of things of that nature. So that's very bullish to me for the whole entire NFT space. And of course, that also trickles down to into ENS as well. Next, in the month of July, we broke multiple records in with ENS. Right, we registered the most amount of ENS domains we ever did in a month, and I think that is big. That shows that we're continuing a forward momentum. That shows that this is not going anywhere. Right, people are still registered. I don't know how we were still thinking of new things to register, but it seems like we're still passing our limits. We still have a lot more room to growth, and more importantly, it's Metcalf's law, right? Metcalf's law is it's the network effect. Once you get one person, one turns to 10, 10 turns to 20. Right now we're about at 500,000, and soon we'll be at 1 million, 10 million, and so forth and so on. So I'm very, very, very excited for what's to come with the ENS DAO and all that good stuff. And last but not least, um, yeah, I think that's good for me. I'm going to bring ENS Punks on stage. He has some good news for the community as well. But with that being said, I'll pass it over to the co-host, Gary Palmer Jr. The stage is yours, man.
Hey everybody, yeah, I'm here for a half hour, then I have a business meeting. Yeah, just the Tiffany's news I think is great. I think that really gets to people that are not fully adopted into NFTs or maybe even crypto. They get to see the Tiffany's brand, they get to see the Tiffany's price tag. There's a big joke with non-crypto people about, your wedding ring. Do you want a real wedding ring or do you want an NFT ring, right? And the joke is like, no, do you want a real wedding ring? And I was joking with somebody that works at a Fortune 100 company, and I was just saying, well, what if someone posed with a bored ape instead? And she was just like, she laughed. She said she'd think about it. But now Tiffany's has these pendants, and what's the next step from pendants? Like I'm thinking wedding rings. You can get a real legit, beautiful on your physical finger wedding ring, and then you could have an NFT version, and then maybe it's connected with a project, maybe it's not, but this is adoption. This is beautiful. This onboards people into then understanding, wow, crypto is here, it's decentralized, it's immutable, it's permissionless. Yeah, you can have collaborations, you could have companies, you could have centralized projects doing things, but they're using this new system that no one person owns, that no one person controls. The Ethereum at the base layer, ENS at the top layer of this technology stack. That's why we're all here, right? In between a lot of that, a lot of people in Web3, we're using IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. Interplanetary File System. And in the community, long, long ago, we had this awesome developer. He's probably still out there. I'm sure he is. And that developer created ens.link. It was an amazing project, allowed any website, like probably the first like it. ens.xyz, all this cool stuff. ens.link, made by the community, so you can automatically resolve any IPFS website connected to any ENS name, like Gary Palmer Jr. .eth, formerly .link. But guess what? Do you guys know what happened? If you scroll through, or if you, it's probably, what is it? Yeah, it's the first tweet there. You can see that, that thread or that. What happened? Let me pin the direct one. What happened, I can't believe this, guys. If you don't know what happened, your jaw is about to drop. Cloudflare, this project, ETH.link, was transitioned to Cloudflare, a major Web2 corporation, probably worth, what, billions or something? They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball in a big way. ETH.link, it looks like the name is expired. They let the name expire. And this is the Web 2 name. This isn't the Web 3 name that anybody could have renewed for them to keep the project alive, right? If this was Web 3, we would have known about this months ago. Everybody would have added money to it to prevent the service from going down, but they let the ball drop. It was immediately sniped in the secondary market, like a Web 2 version of a degen. And probably anybody can buy it now. Or, they want their money. And so this is sort of really big news. This is like the middle of the stack, IPFS. But this is why we have other developers, other people in the community. This is why we have .limo. And what I want you guys to just take away is that you want to start using .limo. And we don't want to limit it to .limo. We want new people to create new services beyond just .limo. They can also contribute to .limo. Probably get a .limo DAO at some point. They can make their own new service, but .link is not working. You can't go to GaryPalmerJr.eth.link. It is no longer the URL. And if you have .link listed anywhere, you need to immediately change it to .limo, because this is like a major security risk. There's a malicious actor could buy this name and then redirect all those. Who knows? You know what I mean? What they could do. They would have to buy the name, but the point is we need to be aware of this information and the different versions of the technology. Yes, and your action, the actionable piece of information is to update if you have like your Twitter link to your IPFS website or anywhere. Like I use it all the time. Like you go to GaryPalmerJr.eth.limo. If I want people to vote for me in the ENS DAO, you can change your votes to me at GaryPalmerJr.eth.limo/VOTE. If I was using .link, then those links will be broken now. Anytime I use .link in the past on Twitter, those links are now broken. Since I started using .limo, those links are still active. And that community member is probably not going to let the domain name expire like .link did, ETH.link. So my mind is just blown. I can't believe, like, I gotta pick my jaw off the floor because I can't believe this happened. I don't know how this happens. But nevertheless, c'est la vie. We are decentralized. This is going to make the system healthier by educating people. But this isn't really it's not exactly great for ENS. But I think this is bullish for the community to show how strong Web3 is, how strong the community is, how quickly we can learn and pivot. And thanks for letting me share that important piece of information with you.
Thank you, Gary. That was very valuable information. Thank you for coming on and sharing that with us. We'll move right along to the NFT verse. Good morning, man.
Hey, Jim, GM, everybody, GM to the host, 5159.e. Thank you for always staying consistent, bringing this information in this ENS update show to the ENS community in general, and to whomever outside of the community who decides to come aboard and listen in. So appreciate that, Gary, co-host. Thank you also for everything you bring to the community. I got ENS Punks up here. As always, bro, you bring a lot of value to the community. Crypto Reporter up here too as a speaker. Happy birthday, bro. I just want to say, welcome everybody. Welcome to the ENS Update Show. If you haven't retweeted this out, be sure to retweet it out. Let's get some more people in here, man. There's a lot of things to cover. There's a lot of great news out there, and there's just a lot of topics that, if you're in here and if you're new and you got a question, just come up here and bounce it up against the community so we can really be able to talk about these things, together and understand kind of what direction or try to understand the direction that everything is going in. Gary, you had touched on something, when you said the whole Tiffany's thing and the wedding or proposal with the diamond rings and all of that good stuff. And I was thinking, like, man, we're so early that, I think there'll come a time where companies like Tiffany's and maybe other jewelry companies and things like that will be able to have those transactions where you can get your significant other or propose to them via a wedding ring or something like that in the metaverse, right? Where they can receive it, they'll receive that NFT, and then they'll receive that real physical item wherever they're located at. We got to understand that there's long distance relationships, right? There's long distance relationships out there in the world where two people possibly can't be together at a certain period of time. But what the metaverse will open up is it'll open up a doorway where they can still interact, not only by telephone or by text, but interact in that world where maybe there's a ceremony that can happen where family members can attend, and until the day that they're able to physically be together, because there's certain circumstances that prevent that, right? So these are the types of things that this type of Web3 will provide: a door, a window, a portal, where things can continue to happen, and there's no boundaries, like I said, where you can propose to that significant other who's overseas, or that significant other who might be serving in the military, and they can't come home because they're there for a certain amount of time, and you want to go ahead and proceed and get that paperwork, that marriage certificate, which will be documented on the blockchain, right? It's these types of things that are going to happen. It's going to take time, but with companies entering into this space, it's so early that they can afford to make a mistake. We know as advocates in here that it's so early that, hey, if you mess up a little bit, it's okay. You learn as you go and you can fix it. And I think that the companies out there watching are kind of doing the same thing, is saying, hey, let's jump into this thing. We don't know everything, but we'll plan it out and we'll figure it, and we'll try to be strategic as possible to try to make some of this stuff happen. And then at the same time, we'll garner a community. We'll build a community at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot going on, but at the same time, I look forward to the discussion today, guys. Thanks for coming in and popping in today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, NFT Verse. That is phenomenal, man. We'll keep moving right along. ENS Punks. Hey, good morning, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, GM Kev, GM co-host, still filling in for our guys, Bull Ron and Master. I guess both are traveling. Hopefully, Master recovered from last Friday. He was in rare form. That was fantastic. NFT verse, first and foremost, I apologize for missing the happy hour on Friday. That's my loss. Obviously, you guys are going to be just fine without Punks, but yeah, sort of missed you guys on Friday. Hopefully, everybody had a good time, and the rest of the speakers, the listeners. So, some fun things going on here. First and foremost, though, it does look like Kev is successfully secured a round one public goods grant from the ENS grants.xyz platform.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes,
Yo.
it's a wake-up call, I think. One, it's historic. I do think the small grants platform is going to play a big role in the DAO moving forward, helping launch projects. It's as of right now, it's round one, so it's sort of, there's going to be 5 winners, one each, and I'm happy for Kev, of course, because it's just it sets a tone, I think, moving forward, and it's a recognition. It's sort of historic. It'll always be there. He'll be part of history, being a winner of that round one public grant. through the small grants platform. And I just want to take the opportunity to double down on it for everybody else. Like, look, it is a vote that occurred on chain. So I was following closely, and it's impossible to say, I know we are all sitting on bags of ENS names, but if you don't have ENS tokens, consider getting some. You don't need them to have a voice in the DAO, but you do need them to have a vote in the DAO. And I would just say, it's something I've seen the DAO say over and over, is that it's hard to get people involved and watching this vote closely. Yeah, man, it's I don't want to say heartbreaking, demoralizing. I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, but I'd love to have kind of seen more people get involved with the vote. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean you would have voted for 5159. There were a number of fantastic proposals, and it's more or less about just encouraging everybody, create an account with the ENS DAO forum. If you have tokens, make sure they're delegated to somebody who votes. If you're self-delegated, fantastic. Just keep yourself involved, educated on, what's coming for votes, and vote on those matters and then those issues that mean something to you. I do think the public goods grants are one of those things that, look, we're all gonna have a vested interest in seeing public goods get funded, and this is one way to do it. Again, is round one. They're already working on kind of experimenting with the platform next time, so maybe it'll be you might be able to vote for more than one proposal, which I think would be good, because there were I would have loved to have done some sort of ranked voting, but that's the point, is I have the opportunity to voice my opinion. Not to say that they're going to accept it, but it's the same thing as when 00 comes here and talks about ENS vision. It's just such a giant opportunity where we've got a voice in DAO. We get to interact directly with builders from the community, built by the community for the community. So take advantage of all those opportunities. We use the services, we use the tools being built, and you don't have that opportunity in Web 2. I've never spoken with anybody from Twitter and say, hey, I think you should do XYZ to improve the Spaces platform or tool. But we've got that almost every single day here. So it's just an encouragement there. Some of the fun stuff that's pinned up top, of course, is Tiffany's. I'll give a crazy, bizarre, before there was degenning in Web3, there was degenning in real life. And one of the probably biggest degens I've ever seen happened to be in a Tiffany's store of all places. So there's a neighborhood in Miami called Coral Gables. There's probably one of the richest malls in the world. Like it's just called Merrick Park. There's a Tiffany's in there. Don't ask me why or how ENS Punks was inside the Tiffany's, but he was. And in comes this, I'll never forget it. It was basically like a fisherman, this dude wearing Crocs, the most disheveled looking fella I've ever seen. And as soon as he walks through the door, he's like, get those diamonds out of the back and give me the big boys. And, I'm not involved with jewelry. I had no idea. But, yeah, apparently all these stores have some big diamonds in there, and they hold them in the back. And they brought out these giant diamonds for this guy. And I just had to sit there and sort of watch, like, what is going on? Is he going to rob the place or what? But anyway, he ended up saying, like, nah, just none of them are big enough. But I'll tell you what, give me that gold it was like, what is it, a paper clip. So it was like he bought like a 24 karat gold paper clip. They rang it up. It was between $1,000, $2,000. And I was still wondering, is he going to rob it or what? And sure enough, he takes out this rubber band with a stack of cash like I'd never seen before and just counted out like $2,000, like it was nothing, threw it down. The salesperson hands him the gold paper clip, and he just handed it right back to her and said, that's for you, sweetheart. And he wrote out. And that is degen shit. So I am happy to see Tiffany's jump in the Web3 space, because there are people who spend some serious money at Tiffany's, and I would love personally to see them get on board at Web3. and looking for some of these ENAs at some point. But just a weird random story. Another weird random story. So Gary pinned it to the top talking about this .link. So yeah, it's one of two of the major gateways. We got .link, .limo. So I'm in the eSteroids Discord server. Again, if you're not there, just like you're not in the ENS DAO forum, get in both of them. Like I'm already getting the alpha, and you'll see there's a little info. One of the limo developers, he included like a comment, and so it's like screenshotted in that original tweet. He saw it was going to expire. He was going to get it, but he's, the .limo folks, of course, have their own Discord, but they're in the eSteroids Discord. And so I got a little bit more insight. So apparently the deal is, and I don't know this firsthand, so I do want to be a little careful, but well, I think what the deal is the .link developer might be in jail, and so it's not clear who the current registrant is, but it sounds like it is not Cloudflare. So they might not have had the ability, the wherewithal to actually extend and renew this thing. And so there's some questions about who really is the registrant. It could be the original dev who, again, according to the .limo folks, might be in jail. That could be an explanation as to why. And Cloudflare just had. So anyway, more of this, it's like just an incredible set of facts and circumstances that led to this. Like Gary said, ultimately, for our purposes, it could be like a realistic security exploit. So yeah, you want to protect yourself, no longer use it, no longer post .links, at least until maybe it gets sorted out, which it might not. So, better safe than sorry, move to .limo in the meantime. But yeah, it's the same thing as the DAO forum. Get in like eSteroids Discord, get in the .limo Discords. You're going to learn an incredible amount. And that's really what it's all about, is just getting informed, educating yourself, everything that's going on in the space. And that's the alpha. You're going to be light years ahead of everybody just by kind of being in these couple places. But that's it. Again, major congrats to 5159, even more than the congrats. Just thank you for doing these spaces Monday through Friday, doing it as long as you can. Again, he was the first person to say, if I get that grant, if I don't get the grant, it's not going to change anything. The show goes on. And again, that's what you love to hear. That's the type of project that you want to support, because it's coming from the right place. His heart's in the right place. And so again, congratulations, but even more, thank you, Kev, for everything you do, and all the speakers who always come regularly, and of course the listeners in the community. It's all of us. So thank everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Punks. I want to give a huge shout out to Punks. He's the one who wrote the grant for me. He set everything up for me, and I think he did a lot. I probably, the way he described it and made it, probably did a lot better job than I could have. But yeah, I'm very appreciative, very grateful for everyone who went out there and casted their votes and felt like this show brought enough value for you guys to want to allow me to get that grant. And the first thing I'm gonna do probably is get me a really nice dinner, right? I think I deserve a nice dinner and some drinks after, doing this for 4 consecutive months. And that's what I'm going to do, y'all. That's where the money's going, to a really nice dinner. But I do have to step away for 30 minutes for an in-life work call. So we do have 3402 as our next co-host, who's going to be moderating things. So please don't give her a hard time in these next couple minutes while I'm here. But while I'm gone, with that being said, Bashar, the stage is yours, brother.
You definitely deserve that dinner, brother. We have I just have a quick side news here, regarding crypto in general. We got that's in my opinion, that's very, very bullish to the decentralization, and that just reassures everybody that people the public, and especially the younger generations that understands the technology and the boom and where we're heading. They're very, very bullish on decentralization. So we have the news is coming from Japan. Japan's central bank. They're they they have plans to apply or start the CBDC. It's a centralized token, governed by the actual government, and they wanted to launch that later this year, and that's their plans. That were their plans, and now they abandoned their plans. And so there was a voting that was going on from the public, and they denied that, and they rejected that. And the public in Japan, the population is actually, they're going they're for the decentralization. They love decentralized. They want to break free from their governments, and that's CBDC will always be controlled from the governments. It's centralized, highly centralized, and it's more ways to control you. But anyway, I'm very glad that this is happening, and I believe that this will only bring enlightenment to other decentralization, in general, and the biggest blockchain naming one, decentralized one, is so far is the only one that we know. The only one that I'm bullish about is ENS, and that's good news for everybody in here and whoever supports it. So I'm very happy for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that, Bashara. Another thing to mention real quick is that I'm gonna let you go real quick, Gary. Is that 99% of domain volume of the month of July came from ENS? So it shows you that valuation for Unstoppable compared to where we are is going to be absolutely massive. But Gary, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about? I get it. Like maybe we could go easily look it up. Who ETH.link registration records were? The services we could pay for that. And yeah, there's also services where you can pay to snipe names. So you just like use each of them, and between all of them, they snipe it for you. Um, but what do we think about the fact that in Web 2, when the name gets dropped, it just goes into a pool, and there's all these companies and algorithms, like everybody has one, like GoDaddy, everyone has a sniping service. Versus Web 3, if there was a Web 3 name and it was dropped, it would have immediately been, for re-registration for 100,000 or 100 million. I don't know, like $100 million. $100 million, I think. And then we would have all been gawking at the $100 million and then wondering who's going to be the first person to pay for it. Is it going to be a squatter or a competitor, or is like the same company going to reacquire it? What do we think about that comparing and contrasting of systems? Do we think that the Web3 thing we have with ENS is really better because of some of those details there?
Crypto reporter, do you want to answer the question, or you have another topic?
Um, I'll go ahead. I did have another topic, but I'll go ahead and answer the question. I think that this is a more decentralized way of people having the opportunity, um, not to be able to. I I'm sorry, guys. I had a long night considering that it's my birthday, but I did want to say that I think that it actually gives everybody an opportunity to be able to purchase a domain rather than have it in the hands of, like you said, GoDaddy or a couple of other companies. I think that's going to really bring more competition. Everybody is really going to have their eyes on it more, and as we've seen with the domains, I mean, they're unique identifiers. They're no longer just domains, right? So it kind of opens up the pool for more people to be interested into them. In fact, it was sometime yesterday that I saw a tweet that really kind of explained it and summed it up. Like, this is actually, these Web3 domains, or specifically ENS, is really bringing more adoption and more attention to domains in general, right? I mean, not everybody is going to have a .com, but a majority of people are going to want to have their .eth. So I think that's the important difference, and I think that kind of really does put level the playing field.
All right, you can go ahead, Crypto Reporter. Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. Well, real quick, I just wanted to say, thank you guys. Thank you, Kev, for hosting the space. Gary, thank you for the opportunity. I still got to speak with you further. Like I said, I'm still kind of recovering from like last night, things like that. But I think it's this space is actually pretty freaking awesome. Pretty. Like I said, I feel like master. Like on Friday, it's just like everything is kind of cloudy. But even still, even before I was out partying, I was still listening to talks. Gary, I listened to that one talk that you had with ENS Academy, and it really broke down. Uh, your thesis was actually really on point, where you can really just be able to break these down into unique identifiers and be able to break it out. And your thesis on subdomains was just awesome. So that's that gigabrain stuff that ENS Punks likes to talk about. Speaking of which, shout out the man ENS Punks, because honestly, he's been helping me out at least with his ENS videos to be able to try to deploy sites on IPFS. Also, quick shout out to Novax as well, helping me understand these subdomains just in particular. This is a very awesome community, guys, and so just everybody that's on the stage has been very helpful when it comes to learning these different topics. So I advise the audience, if you have questions, feel free to speak to any one of the speakers. Feel free to collaborate amongst each other, because it's the only way that we're going to really get this to grow. And I've just been seeing the different things that are happening in the space and kind of relating it to what had happened just in .com, and how the unique disparities between the two, like it's solving a relative problem, but it's going to be bigger than we can actually imagine. So I think I'm gonna cut it short, because like I said, I need to get my mind back right. But thank you, everybody. Yeah, let's continue this. Let's look forward to the discussion, as NFT would say.
Thank you. Well, GM, everyone, and much congrats to Kev. Gary, hi Gary in the community. Good to see you guys. I just wanted to share. I'm in the B card project, and we use oncyber.io. The security versus Discord is just one reason. But they dropped a couple new features this weekend that are huge. So now you can add YouTube videos to your personal lounges in place of NFTs. So you can actually have live streams, watch live sports in the metaverse. Last night there were 7 of us watching whales jumping in the meditation room. It was pretty fun. But also a second feature that they added is, which is also huge, you can now make offers natively within OnCyber. So you can showcase your NFTs, your domains, and have your own store basically. So if somebody sees your NFT, they just click on it, and it brings up a make an offer, and it's done all on cyber. And so it basically takes out OpenSea, and you can just do it all on their platform. So those are 2 new features that they came out with that I think will really change the metaverse and the way we buy and sell. I think a lot of people will start opening up their own shops in there. So I want to share that with you guys. If you aren't familiar with oncyber.io, you should definitely check it out. Anyways, I will move on. I see Flossin in the house. What's up, Flossin?
Yo, yo, yo. I'm surprised I actually made it. I got a little break from work. I'm actually trying to multitask on my break. Listen to you guys, hear what's going on. It's kind of slow morning, right? I mean, I think last I checked, let me give you a little update. I mean, we're down about 20%, 19% in the last 24 hours on volume on ENS at about 116 ETH traded. Um, some floors are holding steady. 10K Club holding around that one ETH floor, a little north of that. Looks like some of the top categories have shifted since the weekend. We got Pre-Punk Club sitting at number one, Female First Names sitting at number two, and then 10K Club sitting at number three. So some interesting, stuff going on. I would say woke up to even two digits selling for 0.6. Our boy Bill, I think his name's Bill Spada, bought another one. He's real big into buying stuff throughout emojis. I think he's got some standard digits as well. That caught my eye. Of course, the Tiffany sale yesterday and the news that Tiffany announced, that was real interesting. So good things are happening even with slow times during this market. But I'm not surprised, honestly. When we kind of look at traditional equity markets in the summertime, volume tends to tick down because people are away traveling, which I do not blame them. So it is a Monday. I can't wait till Friday, the happy hour, where we can just kind of chill, vibe, talk about stuff other than ENS. But I'm looking forward to what this week has to come. Maybe we'll see some volume tick up. Maybe I'll get some more sales because I definitely want some liquid to. Not gonna lie, I got some female first names on my eye that I've been bidding on that no one will accept my bids. So anyways, I'm gonna just kind of go back, mute myself, keep listening in, and and last night Gary informed me that he's gonna try to do a space with the East Sign-In team, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, we'll get that later on this month. Big things are coming, right? So let's just stay patient, state our thesis, and let's just keep building.
Thanks, Lawson. I just noticed you changed your name to Bob. It's nice.
Keycat Bob. Keycat Bob.
Keycat Bob. All right. Moving on. Magnum, what's happening this morning?
Not much, but I want to chime in on the whole
identifier. We can't hear you. Can anybody else hear him?
It's very faint.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I was just saying about the identifiers. I have a bit of a conspiracy theory about the whole thing. Just because, obviously, I feel like ENS will be the future, definitely. But there will be other things to consider when everyone is online, on the metaverse, and everything is under an ENS name. So it will be interesting to see, and I feel there will be obviously layers to how decentralized people want to be, right? Some people will perhaps don't want to go the full spectrum, and some will. I feel that blockchain technology, it is like the internet that got out of hand, and the fringes will use them effectively to be private and try to create good things for humanity. But then there will be the majority of people will probably be content with some type of not a lot of anonymity, but yeah, weird place. But I was just thinking out loud. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing that with us. Crypto Reporter, you got your hand up.
Yeah. Speaking of conspiracy theories, isn't it funny how we're starting to see people come into the space, how companies are coming into the space, and what is the first thing that they come in and purchase? It's usually the .eth. Now, in Tiffany's case, we saw something kind of similar, but from what I was hearing from yesterday, it wasn't Tiffany that got it. But I think it's really funny how Yahoo Finance got purchased, and then there was a Yahoo Finance article. And similarly enough, when it came to Tiffany announced they're doing an NFT project, and you saw from a new wallet someone had purchased Tiffany.eth. And so I think it's really funny, and you can really start to see what people are willing to pay for it, even if it's not the company itself, right? We've been seeing some high squatters when I think it came to like Coke and Nike. People, it's actual people that are purchasing these things, you know, rather than the companies themselves, because they are aware that there's some value to it. And I, I just love to see when stuff like this happens, because that's how you know that you're heading in the right direction. So even though it wasn't really Tiffany that was able to do it, you still saw that there was someone was willing to pay that 30 as soon as they came out with the announcement. So if you guys have any, you know, company names out there, fear not, you know, because I think as soon as your company starts to go into that Web3 space, even if it's not the company themselves, someone else is probably looking at that domain, or somebody else is willing to open up a new wallet and be able to purchase that domain. But that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. And I noticed, so it was purchased for 29 ETH, I think. And then whoever bought it listed it immediately for 7,500 ETH. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Good morning, Mafiko.
It was the wrong name though. The company name is Tiffany's with an S, not Tiffany, right?
That's still saying
Yeah,
something.
that's correct.
Oh yeah, still saying something. I mean, the price of the one of the 250 NFT necklaces, you know, it was the same as like someone paid for that domain name. It was a no brainer. But yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
Yo, GM guys. Yeah, I just wanted to build on what what you're all talking about in terms of Tiffany entering the space. A couple things pop out to me. One, what's really interesting, which it seems that we're the ENS community, obviously, we're really excited about it and we're talking about it, but I've spent the morning in other spaces like Rug Radio and the OK, like other sort of spaces this morning, and everybody, the sort of ENS aspect of it all is has gone over everyone's heads. And I think it's at a point now, I think, community where there's just this assumption that ENS is around, but no one actually is realizing the value of ENS. Everything, all these brands coming to this space, it's all underpinned by ENS. Like you mentioned, I think it was Gary, or I'm not sure who mentioned it, but that's one of the first things that they buy. So it
Yeah,
just,
well,
that's
Rug
a,
Radio is not helping people at all. Rug Radio is just about. I mean, whenever I jump in there, they're just about pumping. I mean, I get it, and we're in here pumping ENS, right? But I'd like to think that we're more educated. We're not shilling our names. We're saying buy the token to vote, buy names because they're cool. But you know, Rug Radio is just like they need to like always be talking about the next NFT and the next this, and it's not really education on utility, right? And call me out and say I'm biased for whoever runs that show, but are they really helping people, or are they just getting people to spend money?
yeah,
It just
exactly.
makes
I
me
mean, it's,
so mad. I'm so sorry. It makes me so mad because like they're not actually like evolving people. You know what I mean? They're just dumping. It's like watching the morning news show on whatever TV station there is. It's just like, sorry, going on.
no, all good. Yeah, I completely understand. I think that's the realization. You know, they get so many people into those spaces. And they're always talking about other projects and what's hot, what's not. But it's just this dark horse. Not even a dark horse anymore. It's like ENS. I mean, we look at this month, how much volume and everything, how many registrations. Like, it's very clear to me that it's perhaps to people who are in those spaces, ENS is like a boring project because, you know, it's not a PFP project. It's not as flashy as, you know, punks or apes and that kind of thing. But when we talk about adoption, we talk about utility, we talk about what's actually going on in the space in the bear, ENS is underpinning all this activity. The other point I want to mention is you look at what Tiffany and Co has done in terms of the ENS name that they're registered. There's an assumption that, you know, brands are going to want their own names, and I agree with that over the long term. But certainly, my thinking now in the short to medium term will be that um, brands will be looking to get into NFTs in a way that doesn't that provides them with a way to minimize the risk on their core brand. So you look at Tiffany, right? It's like NFTIF was what they registered. We initially we all thought, oh, Tiffany.eth was registered by them, but it wasn't. I would imagine you think about Budweiser as well, beer.eth. That was an interesting name there for them. G Star's a bit different. They've been in this sort of provenance and authenticating their watches with blockchain tech for quite some time. But I just think it's just something to bear in mind for people who think, these brands, they're going to want their names. I do believe so. I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out in the short to medium term. They'll come up with counterintuitive ways, certainly ways that we're not thinking about right now, to enter this space. And I think that's been evidenced with Tiffany as Budweiser as well.
Hey, Mafiko, let me ask you a question. Do you see these brands buying just one of their names, or do you think they might go with an alternative, whether it be, let's just say Tiffany's One or Tiffany Hyphens, et cetera? Because, there's some of these people that they're not going to let go of some of these names like Bob.eth or Joe.eth. So I just kind of want to get your viewpoints on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, when I think about the hierarchy of things, I think the first protocol, certainly if I was advising a brand, I your own name, right? It's like get your own name would be the number one. If that is not available, then think about if there's a close enough derivative of your name in which people typically use or you've referenced in the past, right? That could be like Tiffany One or something like that. That may have some relevance to them. And then if not, then think about what you're trying to achieve in the NFT space and then think about what name kind of fits with that. So for example, right, it's like if you're Budweiser and Budweiser.eth not available, and Budweiser One is available, the beer.eth makes sense. It's like, well, you're going to be selling beer. That's the main product you sell. So you should get that name. I definitely think there'll be a place for derivatives. I also think, particularly with these Web2 brands, they're in terms of just people like fucking up in terms of like sending payments and miss order correct and all those different use cases. These brands will want to get as many of those kind of names as they can, and would direct them to sort of one wallet or to in a way that they control where that money is going in case somebody makes an error in terms of sending payments somewhere that they shouldn't have or an NFT somewhere else. That's my thinking.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think brands will try to get multiple different names so people don't have confusion as well. So, all right, Magnum, we'll go to you and then we'll go to you, Shabbat.
Yeah, with regards to brands, I feel that, let's say Budweiser, when beer, the person that had Budweiser, I'm not sure if that was the case or not, but maybe they were willing to sell it for less because they thought Budweiser is already, they are done. They have the beer, so maybe I'll sell it for less. And I was reading up on the Walt Disney story again about how he got all the land in Florida to build a park, and that could be an option, right? Strawmans, a lot of smoke and mirrors, and they get the names for cheap because the person that is holding that name thinks I'm done. They're not coming for their name. I'll sell it for less, and maybe that's an option. But with regards to these shows, NFT shows, I mean, I don't know if it's ignorance or if it's just unwillingness to accept that ENS is going to take it, the spotlight, or it's even just not sexy, as many people have said. It could be that as well. But I mean, I was not reading, I was watching this YouTube podcast with, what's his name, Kevin Rose from Proof, and they were talking about ENS, and I mean, the way they refer to ENS being, it would be great if we can have the ENS that matches our Twitter. That's so short-sighted. I mean, I don't even know how these people wake up in the morning, to be honest, and manage to put their clothes right. So I don't know.
Yeah, to us it seems a bit crazy, but I think people will start catching on. Shabbat, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you all doing? Uh, First of all, I just want to say thank you to Kev for hosting this awesome space every day. This gets my day going. I love it. Thank you, Gary, for co-hosting 3402. You're a true queen. Flossin, ENS Punks, Magnum, NFT Verse, the the preacher, man. All you guys, just shills, all you guys, they're all awesome. Thank you for being here. Just wanted to share my 2 cents on, everyone's talking about Tiffany. And as a guy that comes from the jewelry industry, this is really exciting for me. Like, my vision is actually has been for a long time bringing, the jewelry industry into Web3, um, into the metaverse, rocking your piece of jewelry in the metaverse and in real life at the same time. That's kind of been my vision for a long time. So this is really exciting for me and some of my friends. Gary, by the way, the name of the company is Tiffany and Co. But you're right. Like if you go to Tiffany's.com, it also redirects you to Tiffany.com.
Where does
Uh,
Tiffany.com go?
it's Tiffany.com. Tiffany is the actual website. Tiffany's takes you to Tiffany as well. The name of the company is actually Tiffany and
Oh, cool.
Co. Yeah. This is a brand that I've always loved. The story behind Tiffany is incredible. If you guys should probably read up on it. It's pretty cool. People think Tiffany is a girl's name, but it's actually a surname. Mr. Tiffany, if I'm not mistaken, I remember the story from a while ago, was, in the late 1800s, he was strolling around somewhere like by the mountainside. I think it was on the West Coast, and he stumbled upon some huge shiny rock. Turns out that rock was cut into like 150 carat yellow diamond, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the iconic stone that's in that beautiful necklace that was worn by Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. So everything about this brand is iconic. I mean, it's definitely the most iconic jewelry brand out there in the world today. So yeah, this is big news. I think they're gonna kill it with their NFT, and just something to definitely look at and see how this develops. I think it's going to be huge for the jewelry industry, and I think it's going to bring a lot of other industries and companies into the game. So kudos to them, and thank you guys so much for talking about it. I love it. I'm enjoying this Tiffany movement right now. All this talk about jewelry, I'm loving it. So thank you all.
Yeah, exciting times. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming up. Always great hearing from you. Mafiko, what's going on?
Yeah, another point, and Daniel got hits mentioned this briefly yesterday. He was talking about the fact that Tiffany obviously it's a really well-known luxury brand, and the fact that they've come on to they've made this drop on Ethereum is a really important thing that shouldn't be understated, in the sense that it's now it's the beginning of Ethereum being positioned and branded as a luxury blockchain. I don't think we often think about blockchains in the sense of their own branding, but I think in the future, certainly, that will be a really important thing for us to start to consider. So, looking at the fact that, in my view, in the way things are going, I see Ethereum being positioned as that high end or premium blockchain. So a lot of the wealth, I would imagine, a lot of the institutional money in our space will be on Ethereum, based on the fact that we have punks and those sort of really large collections based on Ethereum, and also a lot of people don't know a lot of historical NFTs as well based on Ethereum. So there's a really cool in terms of cultural capital will be on ETH. The other blockchains though will serve a purpose. I don't think it's an end all be all in terms of Ethereum will be the one and only. I can see layer twos and Cardano and Solana and everything being the place where NFTs that are more high volume NFTs but low price mass market entities, I can see that those chains being the place for those, but certainly the higher end assets will be on ETH. Now that's an interesting thing for ENS, obviously, because the great thing is ENS is native to Ethereum, so we get the value of that branding, but also the fact that ENS is portable across different blockchains and wallet addresses, that's also really important, because what that means is if you are an individual or organization operating on one of those, I would say, mass market blockchains, and you want to get some clout, or you want to position your brand or your project in a more premium way, then it's a no-brainer to get a .eth name. And certainly it's going to be a better choice than getting the native Solana name or Cardano name. It'll be, oh wow, it'll have that element of premium, a premium element to it. So something for all of us to bear in mind around this positioning and bring up. And I don't think Tiffany will be the last brand now. I think if this drop goes really well, we will start to see more luxury brands come into the mix, which just means just hold your bags, because ENS and .eth is going to be seen as like the premium naming or domain or identification in Web3.
You, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back. Better. I just want to do a quick reset of the room. This is the ENS Morning Show, aka ENS Updates. We do the show every Monday through Friday from about 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to give a huge shout out to Shirley Lowe in the audience joining us today. Shout out to you, Shirley. Very grateful for that guest appearance of yours. Huge shout out to the speakers, the co-hosts, to everybody who makes this community what it is, right? And with that being said, I also do want to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have phenomenal speakers on stage. We have phenomenal people giving us alpha day in and day out. The least we can do is smash the retweet button, right? Let's go ahead and retweet this show for us. And let's get some more people in here. Let's get the engagement up, right? I'm honestly surprised how we even have this much people every single day to come and talk about ENS, about the same thing. We talk about the same thing every day, y'all. We just sauce it up, put a little bit of salad dressing on it, and we serve the same plate of food to you guys on a daily basis. But you guys keep showing up, and that's what it's about, man. But that being said, Mafiko, shout out to my boy Mafiko. Mafiko's back. And let's in 3402, I was in and out. I didn't really hear too much, but you did a phenomenal job holding it down. I'm gonna pass it back to you because you're probably doing a better job than me. So the stage is yours, 3402.
Happy to have you back. You are the true host. But thank you. I appreciate that. Magnum, what's up, Magnum?
I just wanted a tidbit of information and piggyback on what Mafiko said. Tiffany is part of a big, or the biggest luxury conglomerate, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. So what he was saying is, for me, is totally straightforward, and I mean, it's just there, plain to see. If you want luxury, you go to ETH, and you see these big brands attaching themselves to ETH. So I mean, it's just out there for everyone to see. And Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, they have really big brands under the umbrella. So I see a lot of things coming forward in the next few months, especially after the merge.
Yeah, I definitely agree. First we saw it with Hublot, and then now with Tiffany. So the jewelry brands are definitely showing up. So I see PV 5905. Good morning.
Morning, fam. What's up? 5159. Thank you for hosting this, man. I just want to give my 2 cents here on how this space have helped me so much. So anybody here listening here, you don't have to come in and think you know it all. Like, these guys have helped me so much and everything. Just don't be afraid to ask questions. We're here to help each other. And I just want to share that, I've noticed in some all my ENSs, they had like 0 views. Now some of them have like 15, 20 views. So I feel happy about my choices. And it's just holding on to it for the perfect time to come out. And, for a moment, man, about 51, 59, I thought you already had like 3402 as the moderator now that you're doing so good with this ENS spaces, man. I was like, oh, yeah, man, we have a woman delegating the world here. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, happy Monday. Enjoy your day and keep killing it, man. Here to listen to everything you guys got to say. Thank you for all the alpha, guys.
Yeah, PV, thank you, man. PV is so humble, man. The man comes in and he's just here to learn and be a good person to this community. So PV, the stage is welcome to you at any time. But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to, I'm in active negotiations with 3402 for an ENS domain name, and she's being hard on this domain. So I'm actively trying to acquire Jamaican flag, Jamaican flag.eth, and not for myself. I'm trying to acquire for somebody else, and I'm giving her some offers, some dealings, and she's rejecting them. She's rejecting my offers, and she's counter offering my offers. So I just want to let you guys know, what do you guys think is a good trade for that? Let's open it up to the panel. What do you guys think is a good trade for that? I offered. Let me tell you guys what I offered. Let me pull it up. I offered.
I'm so glad you're bringing this to the table.
Let's bring it to the table. Let's bring it to the community. I offered DallasHotels.eth, JamaicanFood.eth, and a 5-digit ENS domain for it, and she turned it down, and she wanted TrafficSchool.eth and VirtualMeetings.eth in exchange for it. So to the panel, this is an open discussion. This deal may or may not ever fall through, but I do want to bring it to the community. What do you guys think about it? What is your thoughts, so forth and so on? Go ahead, just Shills.
Hey guys, first of all, thank you for hosting this space, man. 5159-3402. And I know the NFT Worst is also here helping out, man. Man, you guys are just super, super awesome. You have no idea how much this thing charges me. Yesterday I ran about for almost 20 hours, 20 plus hours straight in this ENS space. It's just so mind boggling, man. And then, and then I get up and like, man, today's a beautiful day. And then I come in here and I get all juiced up. Like that is horror, man. Not only that, you guys share some amazing nuggets, but the information that you bring to the table, I haven't seen any space doing that. The fact that you're doing it first thing in the morning, man, it gets everybody pumped up. I'm definitely pumped up, man. The fact that I can hear you guys, I'm like, yo, let's go. It's go time. But dude, there's just so much passion in this community, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from everybody in here, and if I can't take the credit because it's all about the community, I always say that the legends in the community surrounded me, and now I'm surrounded by the legends, and they allowed me to learn. And I had very dumb questions like, "Hey, how do you pin this thing up?" And I didn't learn that just recently, and now I'm like a pinning
No
master.
question's a dumb question.
No, I hear you 100%. And, I've been able to get a lot of people communicating with me, some people that have never chatted. And I just want to spin this to you guys that I finally found a grail from someone, and it's 0 0 cent, like a 0 0 cent. And I was like, what? It's just so powerful. But you know what? 3402 and 5159, I am going to say something. This is exactly how you negotiate, right? Just because someone believes in one thing and someone believes in another thing doesn't mean that they're wrong. 3402 could be absolutely right, and 5159, you're absolutely right in your ways. And I think this is a nice way of paving it to the world that, hey, guys, opinions are cool. Just don't shove it down someone's throat, and it's okay as long as you're respectful. Make an offer. If they don't like it, it's okay, not a big deal. But that's where you have to come up, right? So I feel like this is a very great example of how to move things forward, but more importantly, how to do it the ethical way, which is the Just Shills way, right? But it's just everybody's way. Um, but I do feel like maybe 5159, you gotta go the extra mile, man, because now you're the queen. You're not dealing with just an average person, Joe, Mo,
Well, take Queen out of it for the time being. What do you think? What do you think about that deal?
I think it's a remix deal. I feel like 5159 has good numbers on the table, but I feel like if if maybe 5159 mixes like a double deal, like you connect a few domains instead of just giving one domain, and maybe a three-digit number, an Arabic number. I know like queens love Arabic numbers, man, and give an offer that they can't deny. And I think Queen has a great heart. I've been able to speak to her. She's been supporting a lot of women in this space. She's been empowering a lot of people. I know there were a few challenges, and she took out the time to go the extra mile to communicate with individuals, to give them the right mindset, how to uplift them, how to inspire them. And that's just what this community does. And I'm not saying that she's the only one, but there are many in this space, but I still have to get to know them. So, guys, I feel like this deal is amazing. I think this concept is amazing. However, 5159, dude, I know you're a go getter too. You're not just gonna let it slide. And I know when you get behind something, man, you go all in, just like this radio station, bro. So I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, drop in something like a Tiffany ring or something. Maybe it'll be a lot more cheaper for you than selling a domain name.
He's bringing up three-digit Arabic numbers. I think he's making this worse for you. 5159. If anybody
Look,
else has any comments, we'd
Yeah, I
love
could
to
tell
hear.
5159, man. I don't know if you need to give up an Arabic three-digit, bro, but in case it doesn't work out, you can always mint something that's available, bro. Jamaican me crazy man. .eth is available, bro.
Oh man, that's what it's about, though, right? It's because listen, we don't know where these things are gonna go in the future. They might go to multiples and multiples of ETH. They might never get sold. But it's the process, the relationships you build, and even the act of potentially trading domains. Now, I would say this, guys: do not trade domains with random people you meet on the internet, or should I say, on the blockchain. Don't do that. You're gonna lose your domains. They're gonna scam you. So, just giving you a heads up. Be very cautious about who you're attempting to go into negotiations with, and who you're attempting to trade domains with. But we will continue to discuss this. I'll keep you guys updated on how the situation goes, plays out, if we end up doing the exchange. But I am I do want that domain, and if I don't get it, it is what it is. But my boy DHYC Damahan Yacht Club is into the space. What's good, bro? Happy to see you here, man. But yeah. How did you think the space went today? 3402.
I think it went really well. We had a lot of good conversations, and it's just interesting what's going on with Tiffany and these big sales coming about. So it's really exciting for the space, and it's getting more eyes on the space, which is what we want, what we need. All right before the name wrapper in August or maybe September. So yeah, it's exciting, and I think we're all very excited, and we know none of us really know, but I think we're all excited because we have a pretty good idea of where the future's headed. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, agreed. My boy Mafiko, man, haven't heard from you, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey man, yeah, I'm doing good, doing good. Yeah, it's good to be on the same time zone as you guys. Doing well, settled into work now. Really getting into the Web3 space. So one thing I've learned this week is that Edinburgh is looking to become the data capital of the world. So there's a big push here around blockchains, around AI, around data, privacy and security and stuff. So you can expect from me a lot more research in this space. Ideally, in the future, I'll be looking to set up my own center around Web3, and it to be one of the over the long term, one of the leading centers around Web3 in Europe, if not globally. So I'm just soaking up everything I can, certainly learning from this space. I'll be doing a lot more reading now as well. So you can expect more articles around ENS, around what's going on, future use cases, just some really critical analysis around different things. I find, although the sort of writing I do for you guys in this space is not directly like it's not on my academic work, but it really helps me clarify my thinking around the academic piece. So really valuable. I mean, I really enjoy being in these spaces all the time with you guys. And yeah, I mentioned to somebody as well last week that one other major thing for me once I've settled in, certainly started next year, will be a course around Web3. And you best believe ENS would be one of the, hell, I might spend 2 weeks on ENS alone, given how much stuff we have to discuss here, and how important the ENS project is for the space. But every day, man, it's just learning new things, seeing new things. Tiffany, I mean, it's huge for us. I wonder what's going to happen next week. I mean, if you guys ever think about that, if you think about like where we're at now, did you imagine we'd be here last week? If you think about it all, like if you think about all the weeks we've had this year, it's just pretty surreal what goes on in this space. Kev, you said like we always serve the same plate of food here, which we do, but it's like every morning, man, something happens overnight, and it's like there's just something new to discuss, something new to talk about. So this is an incredible project, this ENS updates show, and the ENS project itself is incredible. So just happy to be a part of this space. But yeah, much more critical thought, thinking, reading, and also articles coming your way from me.
Awesome, man. Very, very excited to read those articles and see what you tap into. And to kind of piggyback off that real quick before I pass to NFT versus, man, we're already in August, right? And just think about how long the year has been in an NFT space from January to now. Look at everything that has happened, right? And I think the last 4 months of 2022 is going to be even a crazier ride, right? I got into the space about a year ago, and I got into the space the end of July, early August, about a year ago, and so much has changed over the course of 12 months, and I expect the space to move so much more rapid over the course of the next 12 months. I'm very excited to see that. So let's buckle up and really hit the last gear of this year, especially for the ENS community. But NFT verse, man, happy to have you back, brother. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, it's just some IRL stuff you gotta take care of. You got to be able to finance your dream, right? That's kind of how it works, right? But want to say again, Kev, congrats on the grant, man. That's amazing. I knew at some point in time that would come to fruition. So amazing to see that go to someone that's been a consistent player in this community building that we're doing right now. So congrats on that. The other thing I want to say is hey Shirley Lowe, I see you down there, and you look cuter than ever. I mean, just want to say
Don't look.
I just wanted to say hi to you. If you get a chance, throw up a heart one day for me. I would really, really love that. But yeah, man, just kind of talking, on, a lot of the things that are kind of going on right now, in the space. I missed a lot of the call today, but Mafiko, man, I can't wait to see some of the stuff that you're gonna write, man, and share with the community. That's gonna be amazing. I try to share anything that anybody posts or that is you know uh, that relates to ENS building or ENS community. I try to make sure that I like them and retweet them out. And maybe even quote the tweet or whatever. I just think that's important that we all do that. Budweiser has not gotten back to me yet, and I'm glad this space is recorded because I want to make sure that they hear me out as they come back and replay it. They haven't got back to me yet. I'm still waiting on them. I believe, and one thing that what these companies have to realize is that when you come into this community, it's okay to have all your followers and your millions of followers, but the key to staying in longevity in something that's happening in a paradigm shift is community. So, with the community that we're building, it would behoove anybody, that has a brand to participate. I'm not saying that they won't at some point in time. I'm not saying that the Friday night happy hour would be their first Web3 sponsorship, but I am saying that it would make sense. Because we're continuing to build, right? Why not build together? Why not build that community together? So I think it's just something that they'll start to learn over time. And maybe when they offer me the first contract, I may say no. I may be a first round draft pick for some of these other companies out here. Maybe I can negotiate and be like, you know what? I don't want that right now. You need to come to the table because Belvedere Vodka has already came to the table, with a better contract. I don't know, guys. I'm just kidding around. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Kev, that's all I wanted to say, man. Thanks.
All good, man. All good. 1289, the stage is yours, brother.
I just want to point out I pinned something to the nest. Remember NFT verse? We were talking about the Ludacris song. What do you think?
Oh, let me. I've. Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. I like that. I like that 1289. Yeah, man, you gotta have it. That's ludicrous, man. He might come up in here and scoop up the area code that he has for wherever he's living at, right? So you never know, man. That's pretty cool, man. I like that and make sure I would retweet it out, bro.
Cool, man. Cool, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm gonna call this one a day, to be honest. Right? It's Monday. Let's ease back into the week. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call this one a day. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to all the loyalty within this community and everybody who comes and supports and help build this thing next level. I promise you, the next 4 months, we're gonna be in for a hell of a ride. We're gonna see a lot. Thread Girl pops in the chat late. Thread Girl, the show's over, but thank you for showing up. With that being said, 5159 is out.